Hi guys, welcome to and back to my YouTube channel. So this is part 2 of filing tax returns, and the first step of this whole process would be to register for e-filing. And if you already have done so and registered for e-filing, you are more than welcome to skip right ahead and jump to what comes next. If I can, I will try to put timestamps for you so you guys can jump straight to where you would like to start the video from. Okay, anyway, to get to the nitty-gritties, the first thing you would do is to open up your browser, and whether it be Google Chrome, Safari, Windows Edge, whatever tickles your fancy is still fine. So once you've opened up your browser, in my case I've opened up Google Chrome, you would type in your search bar SARSeFiling, and after that you will click on that SARSeFiling on the straight onto the website. And because I'm assuming that we have not registered, because I want to take you guys through the whole step, so we'll start with register now, and from there on we would fill in our personal details, and once we've done that, we click on next. We just follow the prompts just as they are. So we would enter our names, just as they appear on your ID. Surname, are you a South African citizen? Yes. And that fill in my ID number, and it will automatically populate the date of birth. So if you're not a South African citizen but have to file for income earned within South African borders then you will click on no and use your passport number, and then also you would have to answer if you're registered for income tax in South Africa, and then it would probably ask for your tax number. So because I'm South African, I'm going to enter my details over there, and already it does the date of birth for me, and then I click on next, and that happens. It says I'm already registered, I'm already an existing e-filing user. So this is okay, because I cannot carry on from here on. I'll just explain the process. It's not very technical. So what happens after you click on next is what they will ask for are your contact details, which is your cell phone number and your email address. So what's going to happen with the email address is you have that option to choose to use your email address as your username, or you could create a username of your own. And once you've decided on a username, then you create a password, and then you click on next. And what happens after that is two things could happen, being that you could be asked to answer a short questionnaire, or you could just be asked to upload documents. So I'd advise you to have your ID, proof of residence, 3 months bank statement, IRP5, your investments, if any, medical aid certificate, and any proof that you get a travel allowance or any other sort of allowance documentation scanned and ready to use on your device, whether it be your laptop, desktop, or your cell phone. Because when they ask for documents to be uploaded, they could ask for any of the ones that I have mentioned, and the list is not exhaustive. There are other things that they could ask for. So that's if they ask you to upload stuff. But the other one is if they ask a questionnaire right away, then the questionnaire is taxpayer specific. So no two taxpayers would get the same questions. So they would definitely ask questions that only you would know. Like for example, they would ask you if you get a medical aid. So it's not always a yes or no, it's different. Sometimes it's a yes or no. Sometimes they'd say, with which institution are you registered for a medical aid? So they would maybe list, like, for example, GEMS, Discovery, well, all those other medical aids that you know, Best Med, HOSMed, all those Bank Med, all those kind of medical aids. You just have to choose the one that is specific for you. So if they are not able to verify you with the answers you gave for the questionnaire, then they'd move straight ahead to ask you to upload supporting documents, which would be any of the ones from the list that I gave you, and probably maybe even some extra ones. I can't say because the list, like I said, is really not exhaustive. And what could happen post that? So post that, what would happen is, given if you answer the questionnaire correctly and they can verify right then and then your profile would be fully registered and you can start filing then. If not, and let's say you have to upload your documents, then the process of being fully registered is anywhere between 24 hours minimum to longer than a week. But let's say you are fully registered and your profile is active. What would happen is they would ask you, once you log back into eFiling, they would ask you to complete registration. It would be in red. You will not miss it. You will see it. So when you complete registration, what they would ask you is to choose a preferred method of communication, which would be either your cell phone number or your email address. These ones are the ones you would have entered when you registered for e-filing. So once you have chosen your preferred method of communication, what would happen next is it will send you to another screen and it will prompt you to link a tax type. A tax type is basically just the kind of tax that you would be filing your return for, and in our case, because we're individuals, it would be income tax. So it's really just going to be the only tax on there. So you just click on link, it will be on blue, and once you click on link to portfolio, then you are done and you're going to be sent the screen, which is the screen that I'm going to be showing you guys from here on, which is the screen we will start from once we start the process of filing your returns. I am so sorry that I could not take you guys through the actual full process of registering, but I hope that me explaining was clear enough. So you have finally registered and you are logged into eFiling, and this is the screen that you are now looking at. Well, at least somewhat, because there's a difference here and there, and I will explain what the difference is. So my screen is showing almost like a prompt that I have been auto-assessed. Some others will not get a screen that says this because auto-assessment is a new thing. So not everyone was auto-assessed, but that is nothing to worry about. If you have not been auto-assessed, I will show you how you will get your return. So we will start with those who do have this notification that they have been auto-assessed. So what you guys would do is to click on this green thingy here that says view, and you click on that, and okay, my network is, yeah, okay, so and then it has that pop-up box there, so you click on continue, and as you can see here on top, it says accept or edit return. So what you could do is you could just go through this calculated tax result and just look through it and just to find out if you're happy with the assessment that you have been given. So if you're happy with it, you can click on accept. If you're not happy with it, you will click on edit. But because I want to show you guys how we are going to do it, I'm not going to click on accept. I'm going to click on edit return. And then once that happens, it's going to bring us to the screen that shows our name, our reference number, tax period, return type, and this open over here.
So we will pause here for those who have been auto-assessed. So for those who have not been auto-assessed, so I'm going to go back home, and so roughly I think this is the screen that you guys would be looking at. So what you would do is to just come on here and 2020 tax period, return status, it should say issued yes, and then you can just click on that. The other way would be, if it so happens that this is not showing, what you would do is on top here next to home there's returns. So you would click on returns, and on the left side, just underneath the profile, there's SARS correspondence returns issued. So we are going to go to returns issued, and then personal income tax, and then it shows that screen that we had when I showed you guys if you have been auto-assessed. But if that hasn't happened, the screen will probably not be here, so this information would not be here. What you would do is you would come on here, so there's 2020 there, like a drop down menu. What you would do is you would select the period for which you want to submit your return. In our case it's 2020, and you would say request return, and once you have requested that return, it would be reflected on the screen over here with all your information. It's very important that you should double check your reference number to check that it's the correct one, and then once you can see that it's the correct one, then you click on open. So now we start the process. Here is just general information. It just shows that this return has your IRP5 information, and if it's not there, it's maybe because your employer has not maybe submitted your information to SARS, and then so that's just general information. So you click on OK, and then over here you will look under return type. It says my tax return or ITR12, so that is where we will be working from. So you click on my tax return, and okay, it's gonna take us to the screen where we will be editing our return. I hope so far you guys are with me and you are not confused. So this does take a while, not too long, but it does take a few seconds. So I guess we can use this time to mention all the things that you would need to have to complete your return. So also this is just general information, but you can definitely read through it, because yeah. So but I'm just gonna press OK. But let me not press OK and explain all the things you would need to file your return. You would need to have your IRP5 nearby, your medical aid certificate, your retirement annuity certificate or pension fund benefit statement, your IT3B. Basically, those are investments and those are statements your institution you have investments with sends back to you for tax purposes. So it's called an ITR3. There's an ITR3A, which is IRP5 essentially, the B, which is for investments, and yeah, the other ones I know. And your logbook if you get a travel allowance, and if you get rental income, you would need where you record all the monies that you have been receiving and all the expenses that you've paid with respect to the rental income that you get. That would be like things like your rates and taxes, agency fees, and the likes. So I pressed on OK earlier, and I'm going to press another OK. You guys can definitely read through this. I am not reading through this because I am familiar with all these things. So I just press on OK. And I think now we are going to be taken straight to our return. Yes, finally we are here. Okay, so there's a form wizard which we have to fill through. Okay, yeah, this is taking a while, so there's a wizard that we have to just verify a few things. This is definitely taking a while. Okay, so what else should I be telling you guys in the meantime while we wait for this to finally? So you are gonna have to read through all these questions line by line, very important. So I will also do the same. So they are called standard questions. I don't know why they are standard questions, but we will go through each and every one of them. So the first question is this declaration made by a taxpayer? Please be mindful and read these questions very carefully so that you answer them very well. Is this declaration made by a taxpayer? In my case, it's no, because I'm not a taxpayer. What? Not a tax, it's actually tax practitioner. I am so sorry. So is this declaration made by a tax practitioner? You see, hence I said you need to read these things carefully. So I guess I wasn't reading carefully. So is this declaration made by a tax practitioner? I'm not a tax practitioner, hence this was already auto-populated for me. You read all of that, you read all of that, and that, and that, and then do you want to claim a donations made to an approved organization in terms of section 18A? This, in my case, applies to me. I did make a donation. So there's this pop-up, which is very late. It should have been like here a long time ago. So I'm gonna click on don't show this again because I know how to do this, but if you are not sure, you could click on yes, help me e-file, or you could just, skip, fast forward, rewind on my video to just, see. So I'm going to click on don't show this again. So it says, how many organizations did you donate to? I've donated to one organization, and that is that. Bear in mind that this does not refer to all sort of donations. It only refers to donations that are to an organization that is in terms of section 18A. So this, most often they are called public-based organizations. They should have a certificate that shows that they are sort of exempt for tax purposes when they receive these donations. Hence, you would get deduction back as well. And then, were you unemployed for any period during this assessment? So, were you unemployed anytime between the 1st of March 2019 to the 29th of February 2020? If yes, you click on yes, and then you would show all of that there. But in my case, no. And then scroll down, we scroll down. So did you receive income that is reflected in IRP5 certificate? Yes. How many certificates? One. That's if I didn't skip between jobs. If I did, then maybe the number would be different. And this is for medical expenses. It's yes. This is no, because I only contribute to my medical aid and to nobody else's. And did you or your employer make any retirement annuity fund contributions for the benefit of yourself? It's no. It's no, because I don't contribute to a retirement annuity, but to a pension fund, which is already stated in my IRP5, already auto-populated. So SARS knows that, and this is a no for me. Do you want to claim a deduction against a travel allowance? I don't get a travel allowance, but I will click on yes, so I can show you guys how to go through this one if you do get a travel allowance. For now, I'll just say for one vehicle. And do you want to claim a deduction against the employer provided vehicle? So with this one, it's either you get a travel allowance or you get right to use your employer's provided vehicle. So that is also a different thing on its own. And I'm just going to click on no for this one. But the procedure is the same. And then you just read through all of these. And are some more questions? Most of these are, okay, there's like foreign income. I don't have one of those. Capital gain or loss, don't have one of those. So what is a capital gain or loss? This is if you have like property, for instance, movable or non-movable, like let's say a house, a yard somewhere, and you sell it. So SARS wants to see the cost compared to the selling price minus all the loss of value and stuff, and they'd want to see if you benefited or not. So that would be what you would report. Taxpayer information, this is just where you check your personal details if they're captured well, contact details, address, and postal address, so physical and postal. Bank details, this is where you confirm your details, and you have your IRP5 finally. So what you're going to do here is to just compare what you have on the screen versus what you have on your paper. So the best way would be to compare source code to amount. Source code to amount, and also looking with comparing to your paper. So what is a source code? A source code, let me just find one here so I can show you guys. Source code. So if you don't know what a source code the amount is referring to, so you could just double check. In 3601, you see over here it says income. So basically 3601 is for monies that you received as income. 3817, this is for all your pension fund contributions. And that's what you would do. So you would compare your whole IRP5 against what is on eFiling. So already they auto-populated these things. So it's really not a lot of work, unlike if you had to go on and manually input these things yourself. So the process is really not really that hard. So in terms of income here, so these would be all your extra incomes that you get. Your local interest, your dividend incomes, your rental incomes. But here you would have stated up there in the standard and comprehensive income questions that you do get income that is not reflected on your IRP5. And then you'd have to show this in here. And this one, the last one, is part of deductions. So as part of deductions, this is what SARS it's the nice thing about SARS. They don't just take your money, they also do, fukuleja you, and this is how they do it, by giving you deductions for like medical aid expenses, travel against allowance, car allowance. And so with the medical deductions one, this is also auto-populated, but you want to come on here to just to verify everything, to just make sure that you check that all your beneficiaries are correct, that you've had so many beneficiaries, and if they are correctly stated. Check if that show the expenses that you had to pay for and your medical aid did not cover. And there's this one again, which is asking if you or any of your beneficiaries are disabled. So they ask this because SARS gives an extra rebate or deduction, if I may say, if one of your, well, not one, if anyone is disabled, even yourself, from the list of all your beneficiaries of medical aid. So that's why that question is there. So there's travel against allowance. So this is what it would typically look like. Although I don't think we'll be able to input anything. We cannot, because they know that I do not get a travel allowance. But what would happen is it would ask you this: did you use a logbook to determine your business kilometers traveled? You would click on yes. You would click on yes. Why? Because you kept a logbook. If you did not keep a logbook, I am so sorry to mention this, that you would have been missing out, because then SARS has decided a few years back that if you don't keep a logbook, they're not going to give you the deduction. So guys, please keep a logbook if you do get a travel allowance. So let's assume that we do keep a logbook. So we say yes, which I can't input on here because they know that I don't get a travel allowance. And then indicate whether the vehicle was acquired by way of. If we were able to click on the drop down, there would have been purchase agreement or lease agreement, and you would choose the one that is most applicable to you and your vehicle. And then this would be, like it says, the registration number of the car, the make of the car, and the model of the car. When did you buy it and for how much? And the other thing here, it will ask for the travel, when was the last day of in the 2020 period of assessment, when was the first day of using the car and the last day. So most often it's usually just from the 1st of March of the beginning of the period of assessment to the last day of the period of assessment. And you would have your opening kilometers and your closing kilometers. What are opening kilometers? Opening kilometers are the kilometers that you had on your what is that thing? That reading. Is it no, it's not a speedometer. Is it an odometer? I don't know. That thing where you check your kilometers. So you would check on the 1st of March 2019, and that would be the number you write on there, and the other one you would write on the 29th of February or the 28th. So that would be your closing. And throughout the year, obviously you would be calculating that I traveled from this place to this place for business purposes for these many kilometers. I traveled from this place A to B, these many kilometers for private. And yeah, you will only capture business kilometers. Why business kilometers? Because SARS wants to tax you only on your take home and not on the monies that were actually used for business purposes, but it taxes you on stuff that you take home. I don't know why, but yes. And yeah, so also if you kept a logbook, some people just keep a logbook and also they spend on fuel and oil. So those monies you would write in here and all these other things if there's record of that. This part is not really compulsory. The one that is very compulsory and that could make or break you is definitely these kilometers. Okay, so the last one for me is the donations thing. So the donations, it asks the total amount donated during the year of assessment. So I'm going to quickly just try to find the thing that has all this information. Oh yeah, found it. So I press continue. Yeah, well, so there's okay, there's a lot going on here. So I just need to find the PBO number, so public based organization, and found it. I think I found it. Oh, there it is. Okay, I don't think this is the number. Oh, yeah, this is definitely the wrong number. Found it. Yeah, like officially found the correct one. There we go. So notice how it was, let me show you guys something. Notice how it's red. So if it's red, it means it's incomplete. So when it's complete, it changes colors from red to blue. So This is how you know that you've completed your return, when everything is in blue. So what I like to do before I officially submit my return is I like to click on calculate here on top. So it's a simulated calculation, so it will give me a rough estimate as to how much I should expect to receive back from SARS or how much I need to pay over. So you guys can go ahead and definitely do this and press calculate. So it's going to open up an additional window to show us our estimated calculation, and on this other side that happens. So but we'll come back to that. So then you just check your estimated calculation, and you just check all these things that are on there, and yeah, you just look there whether or not you're going to have to pay back to SARS, or SARS is going to pay you a little something something. And I don't know why this is here. So I'd have to open return. But what happens is, once it opens this window, it saves your return on that other side. So I will show you what you need to finally have to show that you've successfully submitted your return. And of course the network does this to me again, and we shall wait. So it's really not that difficult, you guys, to complete your tax return. I think now it's easier because everything is auto-populated for you. You just double check, and the only thing you'd have to do is all those small things that SARS does not have, like your logbooks. So you would definitely have to what did I say? You would definitely have to do those yourself, but it's not that difficult. So earlier I said something about me having a car, so no, definitely they fixed it because they know. Let's see if this is still captured properly. Yes. Okay, then if everything is fine, then you can definitely now click submit return to SARS. Okay, so once you have clicked on submit to SARS, this is the screen that you will arrive to, and it says results. Your return has been successfully submitted. Please note that you may follow up on the SARS assessment progress on your return on the income tax web page. So we'll click on continue. So I need to stress this one thing. So you see it says your assessment has just been issued, so you can click on continue to see what is the final calculation compared to the simulated calculation that you had calculated. So that is that, and we are happy and okay with that. So the one thing that I need you guys to realize from this is I need you to see this part where it says filed through e-filing. If you do not have this, then it means your return was not filed. It was probably saved. So you'd have to go back and go click on submit to SARS so that you officially get filed through e-filing and not saved on e-filing, but a filed through e-filing coupled with a notice of assessment. A notice of assessment is to show you the result, whether you have to pay SARS or whether SARS has to refund you. So that's that, and that is all I have for you guys. I'm sorry that this video actually took this long. I thought it would take about 15 minutes more or less, and it's way past 20 minutes. I'm so sorry, but I hope that it's helpful. And one last thing, well done if you eventually manage to submit your return after going through my video. So well done. You have officially conquered e-filing. So thank you guys so much for tuning in and just watching this with me, and I will see you guys in the next video. Remember to subscribe, like, and comment. Live your best life, of course, and I will see you guys in the next video.